and welcome back to In My Hometown. I'm Jamie Stein, and I'm here with Pascal. And today we are talking dating and the holidays and relationships. The holiday time is an exciting and fun time for many people, but it's also fraught with a lot of emotion and a lot of extra things that go on, especially if you are not in a relationship. You're, with a lot of family, spending a lot of time and getting a lot of questions. And also it could be a lonely time for many. So we today have just the most exciting guest. Her name is Bela Gandhi. She is the founder of Smart Dating Academy. And she is really a trusted source, the trusted source, one of the best trusted sources in dating and relationships and helping people find their love. And so we're so happy that you're here today, and we're going to talk all things dating and relationships and apps, of course, and right? Is that
all
right?
Things love.
Okay.
Finding the lid to your pot. So I am so excited to be here.
Yeah, and are we excited? And Pascal uses all of this time for himself to learn.
To enlighten myself about how I go about dating, because obviously I haven't been very successful at it. So maybe you could guide me.
Oh,
Yet.
Yeah.
You have been.
Yeah, not yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this, because as we head into the holidays, no one's in red today. We're actually in really cool tan colors if you're watching. But I feel colorful inside.
You
right
feel
now, ready
red
for the holidays.
You're
exactly.
feeling red and sparkly.
But we are heading into them, and what I have heard and from you is that this is the busiest season for dating. Let's talk a little bit about that and why the holidays do have this extra charge to them in terms of dating.
So it's well documented, believe it or not. Companies like Match.com and eHarmony have been around since 1995. So they know that there is a huge influx of people between December 15th and Valentine's Day, with two big drivers. As you mentioned, the holidays drive people to thinking about, oh my gosh, I would love to have somebody to bring to my holiday parties, or I don't want Aunt Sally to ask me if I'm dating somebody again. I just can't handle that. And then that's one driver. The second is New Year's Day. What do? We make resolutions. And 48% of adults in this country, 118 million, are unmarried. So you can imagine January 1st, people are saying, I want to find love. I want to get back out there. Maybe I'll try a dating app. So this year, believe it or not, Sunday, January 4th is predicted to be the busiest online dating day of 2026.
Wow.
It's the dating Super Bowl Sunday. So
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yes.
let me ask you a question about online dating, because obviously that's what we're talking a little bit about. I mean, I'm a old guy, okay? So my time was Tinder. And Tinder was a website where you go and basically hook up. That was a hookup website. Tinder, yeah. And after Tinder, it became Match.com and the Bumbles and then the Asian dating, and we go on and on and on. I could tell you about 25, like cowboy dating, Christian dating, Mormon dating. It become to a point where and I've flipped a little bit with it in the past, I'm extremely confused. So could you enlighten me, how do you go about finding the proper website or the dating app where I could really meet some really people? Because right now, I've flipped with it in the past. It has been nothing but failures. So explain to me.
So to your point, there's over 1,500. There's over
Help,
1,500. It's like, help.
No.
Where's my flag? So there's over 1,500 dating apps and sites out there.
I did not know
Heck,
that.
I mean, just think about it. By the time we finish this show, there's probably going to be 1,501, right? Every day, somebody's putting something out there. So it can feel like dating ADHD to think about, oh my God, what app do I use? I typically tell people, try no more than 2. At Smart Dating Academy, I start my clients after we've put them through their whole training. Then they know how to use the app. So 1 app for 30 days. See how it goes. And don't marry the app. And then if that's going well, maybe add a second app to it. Now, what app is the question?
Right.
That's the $1 million question. You have to look at online dating as the world's largest cocktail party if you're single. And that's a party that you want to be at, right? And all the apps are like separate rooms in the party. So I tend to like apps that have bigger denominators because online dating, it's needle in a haystack. So you might as well have a big haystack to choose from. So my clients have had success on Match, on Bumble, on Hinge, on Facebook dating, on all kinds of platforms. But the key is to be patient with the apps, right? And to know that there are great people out there, because I do this with people every day when they think, I hate the apps suck, yada, yada. What happens? You put on negative lenses. And what happens? Everybody looks bad. Left swipe. And I'll get in there and go, what about this one? Right. She's cute. Well, I don't know how I didn't see her. I'm like, you clearly weren't in the right mindset. It's like a
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Correct.
Where you think something's not going your way and it's not going your way.
You have to have the mindset that I would say that people have when they're successful is one of what I call psychotic optimism. Optimism and hope, even when things are down, that you don't get gloom and doom. It's like you dust off, you get back up. I know this is possible, but don't spend any more than 15 minutes on a dating app in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening, because you don't want it to feel like a job. It should feel fun.
I will have to strongly disagree with you. I will strongly disagree with you.
This came early.
No. I just think, then again, I free ball with Bumble and I free ball with Match.com. Number one, first of all, it's a business, okay? When you go into a dating app like Bumble and you see a girl you like and you start communicating to her, and then if you want to send her sometime messages, you got to buy roses or you got to buy coin or you got to buy sometimes. That's why those companies, those companies go public. So you cannot really have a conversation. I think, and what I don't like about some of them is that Bumble, for example, is the guy sweeping to the left and the right sweeping to the left and the right. And if you feel like you want to talk to me, you respond hi. I just think it's so biased. Then I would like to the woman to sweep the guy and say, I like this one versus the guy sweeping the woman on Bumble. You follow me what I'm saying?
I do. And that's why Bumble was created, right? To give women more of the steering wheel in dating versus Tinder, where they could get all these gross people sending them inappropriate pictures, right? Bumble was formed to give women the power to say, okay, this one looks good. I'm going to start communicating with this one, versus a lot of people that would just go in there asking for hookups.
Right. Bumble was created actually by one of the early
she was one of the co-founders.
She was a co-founder of Tinder.
Right.
Tinder,
and she felt that it was very male focused.
Yeah, but
so what Bella does talk a little bit about are things that you could do to sort of stack your deck better, or think to like tips. So you had mentioned, I mean, of course, photos. Like, talk a little bit about what your profile, how your profile can help you in your success.
Well, that's the first thing. People don't know how to do this, and I have a lot of empathy for it because I'm swimming in this pool. Should I have great photos? Or does that look like I'm trying too hard? Or should I have, photos that look like me in yoga pants every day? I'm like, no, stop. Remember, you want to put the best version of yourself out there, not the catfished version, but the version that's going to show up to the date. So really good photos, headshots, and body shots. You've got 6 pictures, right? And let's face it, a lot of success in online dating comes with having good photos because we're all visual people, women as well as men. And so having great pictures, and if you think your pictures are good, but you're not getting good traction, have someone else look at your photos and give you advice. All of the psychological research, interestingly, shows we don't pick the best photos of ourselves.
Oh,
I'm gonna tell you one thing. I mean,
all of Pascal's photos are good.
No, I'm not talking about the photo. I'm just. I personally think with the filtering and most likely on women. Okay, they show always the best angle, the best picture. I've been on date on website and I meet the person and I'm looking at the picture and I'm looking at the person and say, it can be you.
Right,
so I think women has tendency to filter their picture to give the good angle.
Okay, I think men do too.
I think men lie about their age.
No, they do both. Men as well. Men will glow up their photos as well. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, a head of hair ago. So there's a lot on both sides. But the best way, guys.
Head of hair ago, I love that.
Right. The best way to get rid of all of this, it's like if someone looks good, do a FaceTime date before you agree to meet somebody.
Before you do a FaceTime date, she's got to like you. She's got to respond.
Correct.
Maybe you're on the wrong dating apps.
I've been.
I'm going to look
Jamie,
at your profile.
I've been. I don't have it with it. I'm not on the.
You're done.
No,
Okay.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with
Okay.
that. I'm a old-fashioned. I like to meet the people, but I've done a beautiful picture. I've done a good stories. I've done a lot of stuff, and it's like, hi, how are you? Good, and then over disappear.
It's awkward.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's so awkward to me to go and meet someone, and then when you say, hey, you want to FaceTime, we need to talk before we FaceTime. No, I like to FaceTime. I like to see you, and I have been, I've tried a lot of them, and to be quite honest with you, zero success for me.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And look at me, I'm not a bad-looking guy. I'm successful, great personality.
Clearly.
So tell me how do a guy like me goes on a dating website, put in some good picture, and have a woman responding to my request?
I mean, it depends. Make good conversation. Say something interesting. End everything with the question. Hi. Okay, there's nothing to respond to if we don't ask a question. Like, think about messaging, right? And you don't want to message for a long time. The goal of messaging is to get to a video date. The goal of the video date is to get to an in-person date, right? So a good conversation should be like a tennis match. You hit the ball, she hits the ball. And if somebody isn't engaging, guess what? Drop her. Look for the people that will engage you, right? So often the negativity bias in our brain takes over, like, well, this one didn't respond to me. It's like, but look at the 9 people that did. Forget about that one, and let's look at the people that are responding.
Yeah, I also think I've sat on the couch and tried to analyze Pascal many times, but I think that you may be going after the wrong women.
That's the story of
This
my
is my
life,
hot
Jimmy.
take.
That has been the story of my
so
life.
it's not really that hot of a take.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But maybe if you tried to swipe right to some of the women that you wouldn't ordinarily, maybe you'll get a different result.
I personally remember I'm in the golden years. I prefer mixer.
Yes.
Meet the people.
Yes.
Look at you in the eyes. Have that vibe, that energy versus a beautiful picture in a dating website who I know is not going to go anywhere.
Right.
And I have a lot of friends. I have a friend of mine who's a woman, very attractive woman, and she's on the dating website. She said, Pascal, we're talking a little bit before I met you because I wanted to know a little bit more about what she's doing.
Your research.
She said, I got thousands of hits. I got none.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have none.
None.
Huh.
None. Or it's, hi, I like your picture. Oh, great, thank you. Love yours.
Right.
How are you today? No respond. Or go 2, 3, and boom, I say, hey, do you want to FaceTime? Oh, we need to talk more.
Yeah.
You know?
We're going to have to run some diagnostics on Pascal.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm sure fate has conspired to put us on the same couch. So I'm here to help you. No worries. And I think, you like you said, you're a great looking guy. You're successful. You have a good personality. This is just about utilizing the apps.
I like her.
Right, I know.
Utilizing the apps as part of your overall strategy. Remember, the goal of an app, a mixer, whatever, is ultimately to get to a one-on-one connection. And what I would say about the dating apps, right? Don't hate the player, right? Hate the game. Remember, we used to use words like, oh, you're in your golden years and you're going to be an old spinster or an old maid. Nobody uses those words anymore because of the dating apps. When I go into a store, I was in a fitting room and this woman and the girl said, oh, what do you do for work? I said, oh, I'm a dating coach and I help people find love. She says, oh my gosh, my 83-year-old aunt just met her boyfriend on JDate. When would that have happened in the 70s or 80s? It was impossible. Today, love is possible at every age. I have clients that get on the apps at 72, 73, 74, and they end up finding people. But with the dating apps, they're not easy, right? You need patience, you need positivity, you need perseverance to keep going with it.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that age. So what we do talk a lot about people, in their going golden and in their golden era, which we see as basically 40 and up. What are you seeing in terms of some of the stats on dating and
the age
over
range,
40
yes.
right now?
Yeah. I mean, there are over 35 million singles that are over the age of 50 right now. So dating during midlife is enormous at this point. And so I think it's the best time to date because we know ourselves better. We know our have-to-haves. We know our deal breakers. We may not be looking to get married and have kids, right? All of those things are, safely in the distance. So now it's about companionship and finding somebody whose company that you actually enjoy. So I think it's the best time of life.
Aren't we also at that age, though, set? I mean, so there's the good part, which is we know what we want, but we're also set in our ways to a degree. I'm pointing at
I am set in my way. I don't want my couch to be moved, and I don't want my furniture to be changed. So you reach an age in your life where I like the comfort of my lifestyle. I would like to bring a partner, but I'm not willing to do a lot of compromise about the way my lifestyle.
See, we're just opening Pandora's box.
And again,
right now.
It's more about compromising in your mind. It's not about furniture placement or rug color. It's, am I ready to share my life with another person?
That's the question.
I know.
Emotionally.
That's the question.
That's the question. And so often we can throw up a lot of, well, I don't like this, or I don't like the way she eats her peas, or I don't like
the way
his
she
shoes.
cuts her steak.
I've had clients cuts her steak. I've had clients go, oh, I can't go on a date with him because I don't like the wallpaper behind him in video. I'm like, oh my God, that is not a reason
So what does
to
that mean?
discount somebody.
What do you think that means? for
Ultimately, sometimes there's a lot of fear behind those little decisions. There's emotional avoidance. Like, I don't really know if I want to have a partner. Not because my life is so great, but because I'm afraid of getting hurt. I'm afraid of being rejected. I'm afraid of being disappointed. So fear drives so much of the human brain.
Yeah. What do you feel about
What is the
What do you
success-
feel about that?
I think I have no fear. I think if I find the right person, I'll go full tune with it. What is the successful rate of a dating website overall? Is people, 50% of people are meeting people, 10%, 20%, 100%? What is the successful rate of any dating, overall dating website?
It's a good question. I think the dating apps struggle with that because people, when they get off the site because they've met somebody, they don't go back and say, hey, Bumble, I met someone. Thanks so much for that.
Or they get off those websites
They don't know because they met somebody. So the apps don't have the kind of data that they want. I mean, I have a statistic, it's old. I mean, when I first started my company in 2009, 2010, at that time it said 1 in 3 marriages take place because of online connections.
Oh, I don't
think
believe
that is
that.
way underspoken. I think more people are connecting on the apps than maybe will admit it or that people actually understand.
Right. There is still such a stigma to the apps, I feel. And maybe, I don't know if it's age related. I know from the younger group in their 20s, there's still a stigma, but yet so many are using it. Are you finding that people don't want to, like you just said, they don't want to share that they're doing it, but they are, or they won't do it because they feel like they don't want to have to tell someone they met someone from a dating app?
Yeah, I think that was more predominant, maybe 20 years ago. I think now to say you're on a dating app, like everyone's like, great, which one? How's it working for you? Okay. They don't really care. And there isn't that judgment. Sometimes the biggest judgment comes from ourselves, right? And so I'm like, everybody's on the apps. Get on the apps. Like women will say, well, successful men aren't going to be on the dating apps because they're going to be set up 10 times a day with other women. And then men will say attractive women aren't on the apps because they've got a line of guys around the corner. And so there's all these misconceptions that we have psychologically about who's on the apps, who isn't. Are dating apps easy? No. Does it feel like needle in a haystack? Absolutely. But it's a good addition to a dating plan, right? I say a good dating plan has 3 parts to it. Using the apps, but then meeting people in real life, and then having people set you up with good potential candidates. So these are 3 levers that people can be pushing on. Some people only rely on the apps and then they get frustrated. Some people are like, well, I only want to meet people in person. I'm like, okay, what are you going to do that? How many mixers? Are you going to go to the bars? Are you going to join meetup groups? Are you going to join running groups? How are you going to maximize your odds of doing that?
Yeah, I love that, maximizing odds.
Yeah.
And you were saying that, and so the idea too of this holiday time, this season of dating or season of, what did we call it?
Peak dating season?
dating season, that the odds are higher. The odds are in your favor because there's going to be more people on the apps than there typically would.
The haystacks are bigger.
Yes, so haystacks are bigger. Yeah,
I
love
didn't
that.
know. I didn't know it was a season of dating. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I think is
Peak season.
Peak
I mean,
season
I
to
guess
dating,
what's interesting is I always knew from a workout perspective, right, at the clubs, you never want to be going to
Yeah.
the
January
workout
because
place
everybody's
in
gonna
the
work
first
out in
week of
January.
January.
Yeah.
but I
First
didn't-
quarter is always tough. You see, it's like all of you are never at this gym. I know who's here, right? And you know
Right.
by March 31st,
But I never
after spring break, they'll be gone again.
Exactly, but I never thought about it in terms of online dating apps that everyone is.
But I
gonna
think
be-
when we go back to the dating app, I think it's a very easy way to try to meet somebody without feeling the rejection. I think Jamie and I talked in the past. You go into a restaurant and you see a couple attractive women sitting at the bar having a drink. The type of guy I am, I will go say, "Hey, how are you? I just noticed you. Can I buy you a drink?" And if the girl say, "No, thank you, I'm with my girlfriend," I say, "Oh, thank you, nice, enjoy your drink." And I will. Most men will not go and ask because they're afraid of rejection.
Yes.
They're hiding behind the dating website because if you say get lost, I'm not hurt.
Correct.
Emotionally, I don't care. I sweep to the
Correct.
right and said, screw her. I go to another one.
Exactly.
But to me, I don't know. Again, the dating app for me, it's like a business of trying to make money by making you buy coin, roses, or silver to be able to
annoying.
communicate to the person. So you like somebody, and then
agree.
she said hi, you said hi, she said how are you, said how are you. All of a sudden, oh, you want to communicate, buy some coin.
Buy something. It's annoying.
It's
I'm so
annoying.
with you.
That's-
I'm in the apps with my clients. It's like here we're on Match and we're looking through all the common mutual matches, but then there's something called highlights. I'm like, oh, here's some great people. Oh, this is going to be $2.50 to
Yeah.
unlock a message. I'm like, why? So I think the apps are having a
didn't know that.
moment right now, right? 2020 was a gangbusters years because of COVID for the dating apps. 2020,
Nobody's
2021,
going out.
they're all having a moment right now where they're trying to monetize things. Is it annoying? Yeah. I'm completely with you. It's annoying to buy a rose, to see a person, oh, you've got to pay this much money. It's like, okay, again, just use the apps in a way that you can handle. It's like if you just like, okay, I don't want to buy a rose to communicate.
But you're not
with that
going
person.
anywhere. You don't buy your rose, you're not going anywhere. The conversation ends right there.
Right. Try a different app.
So
Yeah, try a different app.
But they all the same.
They're all
They
trying to
all
monetize.
the same.
Right.
It'll
They all
swing
try
back.
to monetize. Soon as you start having a little conversation and you getting involved, say, "Oh, I'm getting somewhere there." All of a sudden, you got to spend money to be able to continue the conversation.
right.
Right.
But I think what I'm
It's aggravating.
It's aggravating.
It's 100% you're right.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, you can try a different app. The apps can be annoying in different ways, but try different things, right? And yeah, I'm not a fan of any of this buy a rose, buy a wink, buy a this, buy a that.
But doesn't it go to, it's sort of, again, I'm listening to your advice, which is try to move from that first phase faster then.
Jimmy,
I don't know, I don't do it, so I don't know.
It's
I'm so
impossible
sorry.
to
Okay.
move into it.
Okay.
Jimmy, it's impossible
Okay.
to move into it.
Okay.
I see you on the dating website. I click to the right. You come up and you respond, "Hey, hi." I said, "Hi, how are you? How you doing? What's up? Where do you live?" All of a sudden, continue the conversation. You got to buy your coin. You got to buy your rose.
Right.
You got to buy your swing. You got a smile.
Aren't there some more full service ones though that are
they
just like a full?
Okay, before
all
we
right.
met on that meeting,
Yeah.
I went to a lot of them and I tried to study a little bit, but because I wanted to be knowledgeable about. I flip a little bit with Bumble. I flip a little bit with Tinder in the past. Match.com. So
What's this high end one everyone talks about? There's like one where sort of some
Raya.
Raya, yeah. Is
Yeah.
that still?
it's a membership. You got to pay
Yeah.
for a member. You got to
But they
pay. to
probably
be
don't
part of
You have to be accepted, first
so
of
they-
all. And it's through, I mean, it was historic. I mean, 10 years ago when it was founded, it was very much like, oh, you have to be approved to get into Raya. So I have clients that are on Raya and I've logged in and communicated. But a lot of what I've seen on Raya is there's a lot of pretty people, doing really interesting things globally, but it's like an art gallery. Nobody talks to each other.
Interesting.
So
what about, Bethany Frankel just is launching one. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Or at
I've
least
heard
just
about
announced it. I don't think it's out yet. Yeah, there's a new one each week, it seems, like you said.
I think the problem, again, you can pay $12 or $1,200 to Bethany Frankel, but what it's not doing is talking about how relationship ready someone is. What traumas do they have? What bad choices do they have? Are they going to fall in love with you? Are they aligned with your values? No dating app can suss that out. No human matchmaker can suss that out. People romanticize, oh, if I pay a matchmaker $250,000, they're going to find the perfect person who's going to fall in love with me. I'm like, they can look at, they're like human Tinder. They can look on, oh, she's 50 years old, she makes this much money, blah, 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 blah. But the only thing that will help you to understand if somebody's right for you is time. And people don't want to spend the time getting to know somebody.
I'm going to repeat again and again and again.
I can't wait to hear this.
You go on the site, and yes, I'm open, I want the time, but I refuse spending money to continue the conversation.
Okay.
Why?
Because I just don't think it's worth it. I just don't think for me, I should be able to talk to that person back and forth without putting money every time I want to say, I buy a number of texts or I buy a number of rows. No, I just don't feel comfortable with that. It's not, no.
I think you do quite well, though, in person. You said, you're not afraid to go up and ask people out.
I personally, the best way, like you said, there is 3 ways. One is a friend referring you a friend.
Yeah.
Those are the best because your friend knows you best and they know what you like. So they introduce you to somebody where they find with. I think that's the fun. The second is to go out and meet somebody without expectation. I think to me, when you're trying too hard to get something, you never get it. I think it has to come up organically.
Yeah.
Going out with friends, casually having dinner, and all of a sudden you got 2-3 people who walk by, another friend. That's how you meet friend. I'm not a big fan of the dating website.
Okay, you don't have to be. Bella
it.
doesn't have a website.
You don't have to use
a
the
dating
apps
website.
or the websites.
Yeah.
There's so many other ways. And the fact that you love making approaches when you see women that you're interested in, that's the holy grail. You're right. Most men that are not confident are going to hide behind the apps because they feel like that's where they have the best odds. But if your skill set and your personality is such that you could walk up and say, hey, can I buy you a drink? You're winning. Keep doing more of that.
You're winning.
You're
I haven't won.
You're winning. But so just
you
go.
have an evaluation system.
Right.
How is this a person that's ultimately, we have a concept in our GPQ framework called elevator people.
Elevator people.
And being with somebody that elevates you, like the people in your life, if you think about the people in your life right now that love you best, make you happy, you think about them. How does each of them make you feel? And think about this. I do this with every single one of my clients. And then we have a list of the adjectives. What do my elevator people help me feel? Guess what? That's what you should be looking for in the dating process.
But it takes time.
This is what I was
takes
saying.
time.
Time is the biggest
It takes time.
commodity.
It takes time.
This takes time. And people are so quick today. Oh, I'm not feeling chemistry. On the first date, I'm just going to throw this person back to the pond. If the date was fun, if there were no red flags, if you feel like it was easy, it was fun, give it a second date. Sometimes the real first date is the second date or the third date where you're not nervous, you feel more comfortable. But you're right, people, the biggest problem is lack of patience.
Yeah.
I think to me, speaking on my behalf, if she doesn't pass the criteria on the first date, there is no second date.
And what are the criterion?
Oh,
The
gosh.
criteria-
Don't.
I mean, I
oh
don't
my
want.
God. This is
We
really
won't have the
opening
time to
can of
tell you my
worms.
criteria. So
We're gonna have to do a follow-up.
We do a follow-up. But I'm.
But you are like many people. Many of our audience
like-
does the same thing.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So I think to me, I go on a date, and if I don't feel the energy or the chemistry, there is no second date. If I feel a little bit the chemistry and energy, I go on a second date, obviously, and I go on a third date. But after the third date, I realize if it's somebody I want to be with or not, because you have the time to have dinner, you have the time to take some walk, you have the time to maybe do a couple times together. So if after the third day doesn't work, I'm not wasting my time. And a lot of people, because of loneliness, they will hang with somebody they don't want to be with, or they're not really 100% compatible, but they don't want to be lonely. So they settle. A lot of people are settling for less than what they want.
100%.
Okay.
And a lot of people, to that point, are using chemistry as the final judge, right? If
That's
we
a
go
problem.
on 3 dates, okay, let's say each date is 2 hours, just for argument's sake. 3 dates. You've spent 6 hours with this person. That's not even Monday at work. And we're looking to make big decisions about exclusivity on not even Monday at work, right? So it takes time. Chemistry, I always say chemistry is nature's way of tricking us into attachment, right? And we're relying on physical chemistry, right? But that doesn't necessarily
It's very
mean
important.
it's super important.
Super important.
It's super important, but taking that slow to see, is there a good rapport? Is this person an elevator person? Are there red flags? The only thing that discerns that is time. So at Smart Dating Academy, our clients don't get exclusive with somebody until they've been on 15 dates with somebody. Now, 15 probably sounds like, oh my gosh. But if you think about it, again, use the math. I'm a finance person by education, right? You look at 3 dates, or you look at 2 hours per date, maybe 3 hours, 15 dates, that's like 30 to 45 hours, right?
a week.
But separate interactions. Spending 3 days with somebody all together doesn't count. I want to see what it looks like when you go on 1 date a week with this person. How do they behave? What do they look like? If you have a great date with somebody on Tuesday, she'll say, oh my gosh, I'm free on Thursday. You say, hey, how about next Tuesday? Let's meet up. And you do this slowly. And that also tells you how responsive are they over text. Do they communicate with you? How do they react in different situations?
So let me ask you: should they also be dating concurrently? Should they be dating other people at the same time?
100%. I'm a huge fan of a dating funnel. Date multiple people to prevent the S word, settling, which is what you said. If you don't have a variety of options, and let's say you're feeling negative and you're just like, oh God, I can't do this again. What happens? We're like, oh, here's a good one. I'm feeling chemistry. It's been 2 or 3 dates. We lock it down. And then we start to see the red flags. But now we have blinders on. So I say we start to sweep the red flags under the rug until in a year, the rug is so mounded with red flags that you can't even walk into your living room.
But I totally agree with you. I think to me, I believe then, first of all, it has to have the visual attraction.
For sure.
We are,
Men and
women are very
both.
superficial. They have to be visually attracted by the person. The second thing to me is the conversation. How intelligent, what kind of conversation I could have with her? Could we talk about politics? Could you talk about finance? Could you talk about architecture, fashion, art? I think to me that's very important to me. So that's already that on my second date, we'll talk about what she does when on the free time and stuff like that. And obviously, the third one is the chemistry. The chemistry comes with time. If you get the visual attraction and you get the communication, then you get the chemistry, then you move forward slowly. But most people, when they're physically attracted to the person, they are not who they really are. They adapt themselves because they want that person. Do you follow me what I'm saying?
They have a mask on.
Exactly. So, and then all of a sudden, after a year, they become who they are. I mean, I'm going to tell you a quick story. A friend of mine wanted me to fix you up. I fixed her up to a woman. They had a great time together. They used to love golf. Golf. That was their life. They got married. They got a kid. The guy said, I'm going to go golf. He said, golfing? Why you go golfing? I hate golf.
Right, so it was a put on. It was an act.
Yeah, but we have tendency to always put an act because we want to conquer and we don't want to be alone. And we do a lot of settlement and a lot of concession to what we really don't want, but we don't want to be alone. And that's why the rate divorce is 50% on the first divorce and 75% on the second divorce.
Because we look at 3-date rules, right? We should know something in 3 dates. No, you don't. Just remember, that's Monday at work. You shouldn't know anything. Slow and steady, gathering more data in different contexts over time before you decide to get exclusive with this person. And then once my clients get exclusive, let's say it's 3 to 4 months before, let's say they meet somebody on, in January. Now I'm going to be watching how they're dating for the next 15 dates. So say by April, they've been on 15 dates with this person.
Do they have intimacy during those 15 dates?
Do they what?
Do they have intimacy?
Intimacy.
This is what I mean. Look, I'm
3
saying,
months, I'm dining and whining you, and I don't have a little bonus
when
out
you're
of that.
having intimacy, what happens? Your brain is flooded by chemicals.
Yeah, but
we call it crazy in love, falling in love, madly in love, because the chemicals surging through your brains when you start having sex and through orgasm, right? This is the stuff that blinds us.
Okay.
Ultimately. Yeah. The best sex is usually long-term with somebody that you have a deep, abiding emotional connection. If not, it's a flash in the pan, right? It could be good for that day or that month, but as you get to know that person, you're like, ugh, yuck, and we start to lose that. This is why doing things with a framework, with a methodology, consistently is why we've had 0 divorces. You're right, the divorce statistics are terrible.
Right. I think, can I just make a comment? This is if you are dating for long term. If you are dating to have fun and hook up, then you do not need to follow this program or any of these things.
For you. You want to hook up?
I want to make that distinction.
Go.
Right. But I want to make that distinction, right? Because
100%.
all the power to anyone who wants to go out and have fun and has chemistry and that instant physical attraction and wants to act on it. I love that. That's great.
But I would say most people who goes on a dating website is because they want to find a partner. There is quite a few who wants a quick gratification, but most of them really want a partner. I'm a believer of that. And it's not easy to find a partner on the dating website. And I agree with you. I think it has a certain element you have to follow through and get to know the person. Maybe your time clock is a little bit wider than mine. I wouldn't wait 3 months before I have intimacy with someone. And and then as you have the intimacy, then you start getting, your guard goes down, okay? When you have an intimacy and you have the connection, your guard goes down, you become really who you are now. And then that's where you really do I was dating somebody for 2 years. We had a fantastic sex. It was great. I'm physically attracted with her, but we didn't have that communication. And I said, it's okay, it's not that important. I got the rest. And on time, I realized, it is important.
It's so important, right? And this is what happens. And I would ask you, when did you realize you didn't have good communication?
I realized that after maybe 6 months into the relationship, but I was infatuation with her. I was physically, visually attracted to her. And I said, that's not that important. She fulfilled the need I need. But I realized then I needed more than that.
You needed to talk.
I needed to talk.
Yeah.
I needed to have fun.
You need a friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because in the bottom line, in the end of the day, it's finding your best friend.
This is a deep and abiding friendship. And that's why when I say, when you go back and you think about the people in your life that elevate you, that love you best, that make you happy, look for those characteristics. And they don't come out right away. And that's the other reason to date people slowly before we get into intimacy and before our brains are clouded. And then we spend 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and we're like, okay, that didn't work. And then all we've done is aged out a little more, going back to the dating pool again, more frustrated, more disappointed, versus when you actually sit back, have a framework, do things, look, all big things in life that we accomplish are due to series of good decisions that we make on a daily basis. It's the small decisions that lead to the big ones, right? But in dating, what I want to do, my mission is to put ration to something that seems so emotional and irrational. Like, there is a good way to do this. Is it what Hollywood or Bollywood depicts? No, it's kind of the opposite. We see all these meet cutes. You meet eyes over mangoes at Whole Foods and all the music starts playing. But if they actually, at the end of the movie, said 7 years later, ... it would be a totally different story. So I'm here, to your point, to help people with the long game, to finding their best friend, their partner, the love of their life, and make it the happiest, best love of your life.
I love that. I love that. And I love what you're doing. What's interesting though is that I recently saw Reese Witherspoon, I think, interviewed talking about rom-coms and saying that she thinks that this sort of glut of rom-coms, the absence of the traditional rom-com, has influenced and affected how people are dating today. Because men are not seeing these meet cutes that you just said, and sort of these stories where a boy or a man approaches a woman and it doesn't go well. And then he's defeated and he goes and talks to his friends, but then later he goes and redeems himself and is able to find someone else, right? And I think she was saying, there's a podcaster and an author named Scott Galloway who talks a lot about men,
I love
boys,
Scott
yeah.
Galloway.
And so it's a lot of this that's sort of in our society and our culture right now that's sort of influencing how dating is and how men are. What's your take on that?
I think, one of the biggest issues with media and social media is it feeds and breeds so much negativity. I believe there's so much more good in the world and good in people, but the stuff that sells and gets the views is the negativity. I love a good rom-com, okay? Let's look at the work that I do. I love it. And the older ones. And I think that, Netflix and Amazon and Hollywood went through this time of the last 10, 15 years where they weren't making rom-coms. But I think they're coming back. And I think that people want to feel hope, that love exists for them. And I think for what I love about rom-coms is it gives people hope that the lid to their pot is out there. So I'm so with you. Yeah. I hope we get back to
You know what I just rewatched?
But it's not realistic, but I love it.
You know what I just rewatched was given Rob Reiner his horrible passing, right? When Harry Met Sally.
The best.
And that is an absolute take on this idea of friendship and how friendship can turn into love.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, it starts with a friendship. I think the friendship is what will lead because in the end of the day, like as you said earlier, she has to be your best friend. You have to be not only your best friend, and then if you have the attraction and the chemistry, you have longevity. But it's not easy to find. And to get back to what you just said about dating multi people, I personally find it very confusing to go out on a Tuesday with Joanne, to go out on Wednesday with Roseanne, to go out with Thursday with this. I'm the kind of guy who would like to focus in one person and put my attention to it. If it doesn't work, boom, I move on to another person. Because the influence of dating, it's confusing. This one, I like this one about her, and then you're going to compare it to this one, and you're going to compare it to this one, and they all have something to offer. They don't have the whole package, but they all have a little something you like. So to me, it's better to go with one, put your attention to it, and if it doesn't work, then move on to the next one and the next one, next one.
I understand that. The way I look at it is a little bit different. It's about efficiency, right? When you have a methodology and, I don't want anybody going on more than 2 dates a week. And this is after they've done a video date. So then at that point, what it does, you can, instead of it being confusing, what it provides you is good data. And you feel more confident in the decisions that you're making because you're like, okay, is this person an elevator person? Are there red flags? And now we're not so keen to settle down with someone that has great chemistry if there are other red flags, because then you're also like, gosh, I've got 3 good people in the mix right now, and it can make dating feel more exciting and less anxious in our gut because even if this one doesn't work out, I still have an active funnel going. So it makes people make better decisions long term by not narrowing their focus down too quickly.
I could see that. I could also see why you are considered one of the trusted sources on dating. You have so much information, so much to share. And I especially love how your approach is all about being sort of planful and being prepared and approaching dating seriously in a way, right? So that you can get this outcome. So what are these last, now we're going to just say, what are the 3 things that you could do? But what would you say is the most important thing as we head into holidays right now, knowing that it's this peak season, knowing that people want to find someone, knowing there's a lot of emotion, everything's going on. Any thoughts and sort of advice that you have for our audience?
Yeah, I think if you make a list of your elevator people and why they elevate you and why they make you feel so good, the most important thing to do with that then is to become that person in the world. Who are your elevator? Are they generous? Are they loyal? Are they always there for you? Are they supportive? Are they kind? Do they give you words of affirmation? And when you become that person in your life consciously, it is not easy because our human brains are programmed to live in the same negative program. Being an elevator person will start to attract people of that frequency to you. It's kind of magical.
Yeah, I love it.
But you know what? I think, when you talk about a relationship like a career, my father did the same thing his whole life and he died doing what he was doing. Now we seem like we're changing career about a couple times in our lifetime because our lifetime is much longer. Okay. Yeah. So do you think then is the same thing with relationship or marriage? I think, we were talking last week about the divorce rate and we were talking about the middle age crisis. We're talking about the menopause. Okay. I think women goes to that, men goes to middle age crisis. And, when they marry for about 20 years and all of a sudden the kids are almost out of the house, they're still in a good shape. They had a great time with their wife and then, they see what's happening in social media. It's a bad influence because they really push you to go out there and see. Do you think you could be in love more than one time in your lifetime? And do you think you change partner? What is the longevity of a marriage these days?
I think in a healthy relationship, what I tell people to do, especially younger people that are 30, 35 years old, when you pick the right person, play the long game, but as you grow and evolve together, you might be married to 5 different versions of this person.
If you grow together.
If you grow together. And this, back to your point, is you need that communication. You need to feel safe with somebody. In order to have good communication, you need to feel safe, right? If I don't feel safe with you, I'm not going to tell you what I really feel, and vice versa. So you have to have that safety, that trust to be able to have that communication to say, hey, I need more of this from you. Or I would love if you did this instead. And then we respond to each other. We respond to bids for more love, more time, more physical touch, whatever that is. So I think it's possible. What I think is we are never taught how to do this. We are taught chemistry and biology and history, but the most important skills in our lives, how to be a good friend, how to pick a good partner, right? I grew up in a house. How did I get into this business? One day I came home. My parents are immigrants. And
from where?
India.
Okay.
And so my dad is an engineer. My mom is a chemist, so they don't say a lot. But when they wanted to teach us something, they would leave an article laying around or hand you a book. One day I came home and there was a poster nailed up to our family room. And I was like, what is this? What does he want us to learn? So it says the 21 suggestions for success. And the guy's name was H. Jackson Brown. And I thought it's going to say, get straight A's, take a lot of AP classes, go to a good college. Rule number 1, marry the right person. This one decision will determine 90% of your happiness or 90% of your misery. And then rule number 2 is like, find work that you love and do it cheerfully. And I said to my dad, I'm like, well, then how do you know if someone's right for you? My parents met on Sunday. They were engaged on Thursday of that week. They were married 72 hours later. They've now been married for 50 years at this point.
My father was giving to my mother
Right.
My mother was giving to my father.
And that's it. And
For
they
a
make
couple
it
camels.
work. Right.
Right.
For a
How long
couple
were
of-
they
right.
together?
Exactly. A couple of cows and the
couple of
deal
cows
was
and
done.
then you get the wife.
The deal
How
was
long were they
done.
together?
Huh? Or they were their whole life. They
Yeah.
were,
My parents are celebrating 60 years next week.
My parents were.
Congratulations.
And they had their turmoil, they have their up and down,
for
and they,
sure.
but you know, my mother would have never left my father because she had so much respect for him, and in that time you don't get divorced. But I know then they had a lot of fight. You know, I mean, it wasn't easy. Today you don't want to fight. If it doesn't work, you call the lawyer and you get divorced. We live in a society where everything is
Transactional.
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 Which I don't like. We've talked a lot about
No,
that.
me
But that's
neither.
what
feel
it
like
is. Everything is-
marriage is like I love this. So be the partner you want to be.
Yes.
Okay, I love that. I'm getting so much of it, and also the idea that we grow as long as we're going together, but we will be different people in our marriage, and I just really love that too, and understanding that our partners are going to change and we're going to change.
But the challenge is to grow together.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
particularly, you know, I mean, you have the challenge of where you get married, everything is great. Then all of a sudden you have children. When you have children, things change.
Yeah, our hardest
Children
time.
make nothing easier.
no,
No,
our hardest time was
nothing.
when mine
Change.
were younger.
So all
Change
over the
everything.
sudden, you get a woman who decided to have a career, and then you come home, and the two of you are talking about your career, you're talking about the kid, and you go on in the morning, you go by your separate way, or you have the woman who stay at home and raise the kids. The woman who raised the kid at home, all of a sudden you come home, you don't have much conversation because the only
are
time
gone.
is boo boo gaga, boo 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 gaga with the kids. So all over, yeah, and that's what it is. So all of a sudden you start losing interest, and you happen to work in an office, and you have a woman who's a go-getter, and she's, she's got kids, and oh, this is really
Is this
what
a
I
true?
want.
Is this a story? Is this yours? This is.
It's not my story.
Okay, you're just pitching us a
I'm just
story.
pitching
But this is
Yes,
what
yeah.
happens
Okay,
a
yeah.
lot
But that's what happened a
in
lot.
gray divorce, right?
Yes.
Right? Where you feel like you've lost that connection. But I will tell you, seeing a lot of people that come out of that tunnel, that connection was gone a long time before those kids left. And there was this glacial growing apart. Growing apart. And what do the women do? They have more girlfriends. They spend more time with their girlfriends.
They go out with their girlfriend.
Men spend more time at work. And so what starts to happen is this schism. But the schism doesn't happen the day the kids are gone. The kids just pull the Band-Aid off and make it apparent of what's been going on. So it is conscious and mindful to keep that relationship sacred and to keep the communication open and to talk about it. And when people say, well, you should be doing date night, I'm like, that's fine. But if you go to date night and you're sitting at the same restaurant and you're both looking at your phones, not talking to each other, that's not a date night. It has to be an intentional, conscious, like, tell me, what's the most exciting thing that happened to you this week? What do you want to be? Where do you want to be a year from now, 3 years from now? Having these intentional conversations so that you can grow together. Because if you don't have those conversations, that's where we grow apart.
Yeah. Look, we can talk for
we
hours
could
and
talk for
hours
hours.
about relationships.
Okay.
We
This
want
was
to have
so
you back.
fun.
This was so great.
So
and I
fun.
love that we opened the aperture up and talked, not just dating, but relationships as a whole.
So basically, what you recommend, to go back to the dating website, is
Yeah,
to pick up.
will you please encapsulate all this?
Yeah,
Give us a
yes. So
summary.
what you recommend
Summarize everything.
for the dating website? Okay, so basically, what you recommend for the dating website is to pick up 2 websites, guys. Okay, only 2. Okay?
2 apps.
2 apps.
Start with
2 apps.
one.
Don't
Start
call-
with
first
Start with
I recommend
Don't
not
fuss
calling it
around
a
with many.
website.
One.
Start with one. Give
One.
it what? Give it about a week and see the response of that.
You know, I would say give it 2 to 4 weeks.
Oh wow!
Okay.
2 to 4 weeks.
See how it goes.
And buy
Be
some
patient.
coin, buy some rose, spend your money. Am I right?
Spend a little money. Remember, finding the love of your life is the best investment you'll make. So if you've got to
I don't like the
rose,
story, the love of your life.
Why not?
Because the love of your life is the love of your life. I mean,
You are the
I've
love
been
of
in
your
love.
life.
I've been in love about 10 times in my lifetime.
Yeah.
They were all the love of my life.
Yeah.
at the moment.
At the moment. So I think find the right partner, find the right friend where you could grow with more than find the love of your life.
Yeah.
Let's say the best love of your life so far. How about that?
how about
Let's
that?
Okay,
agree
I'll
to that.
compromise with you on that.
Fist bump.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. All right. Great. So that was the summary, and then
No, it was
and
the
then-
summary. The first website. Try the first website.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give it 2 weeks, 4 weeks. You said.
2 to 4 weeks.
Find
to
your
see.
coin. If it doesn't work, move on to
Yeah.
another
If
website.
it doesn't work, call me.
Yeah.
Like,
Date a
you need
couple
some help.
people at
Have
the
a
same
village.
time. Date a couple people at the same time. Be out there.
Yeah.
And be
I
the
don't like
partner
the
you want
idea
to
of
be
dating- yeah.
finding.
Be an elevator person
yeah,
in the
okay,
world.
elevator person,
Right? Be
right.
an elevator person in the world. Are you putting out love?
Right.
Are you looking for what's good in people? Are you telling them? Are you being kind?
Yes.
Are you being supportive? And you watch that frequency starts to come back to you. This is real.
Okay.
It's real. If we're putting negativity out there, gloom and doom, there's no one out there. I hate this. Dating sucks. All the good people are taken. What are you putting out there?
Right.
That frequency. People read that frequency, and that's what comes back.
Yeah. He's very optimistic. We talk a lot
I'm
about.
super optimistic.
I
see
am.
that,
I
yes.
am. I just then, again, to go back to the dating website. I mean, I flibble with it.
No,
and,
don't go back to that
then,
conversation.
And then every time I go on one of them, it's really not. They don't look, or they don't behave, or they don't act.
it
the
just
way they
might
are.
not be your thing.
It's not my thing.
Okay.
It's not my
Look at
thing.
it as a tool.
I don't even.
Look at it as a
I'm
tool.
completely out of all those websites. I think to me, I like a friend referring me a friend, me meeting somebody organically,
All right.
or go to Mixer. I think Mixer will be the
Yes.
big 10.
Yeah.
A mixer of the 35, the 40, the 50 years old mixer where you know then you're going to go there meeting somebody. I think to me, we've talked about that. I like to see the person in the eyes. I like to feel the energy. I like to look at you. I like to feel you, communicate with you.
You
Versus
could also go on the Golden Bachelorette.
For example,
That
what
is
do you think-
another
what do you think-
way
okay,
to get
so
some
what do you
dates.
think of the concept of the Golden Bachelor and the Golden Bachelorette, or the Bachelor and Bachelor all together? Do you think it's a concept? It's really a realistic concept to find the love of your life?
for sure. And I think that I'm so glad that ABC finally realized that people over 50
Right,
are
are
active
alive.
and finding love. So I was so excited to see the Golden franchise. Now, the way they do things on the show is probably a little different, as you could gather, than what I'm having people do ultimately. But I love the fact that singles over 40 and 50 and 60 and 70 have attention, and they know that they can find amazing love at any age and be hopeful. If you need something in the world, it's hope.
Good.
I agree with
I think
that.
I think we should end on that because
Yes,
I think
it's
that
hope.
is a really
It's hope,
positive
yes. Hope to find
vibe
the
to
right
be on.
partner.
Let's all hope for good things.
Yes.
Let's all
Putting it
hope
out
for happiest of holidays to everyone celebrating, and a happy new year because we're going to be off for a
We're
little
going
bit.
to be off for a couple of weeks, am I
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I'll miss you.
We'll miss
everybody-
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
miss
Did you hear me? I said I'll miss you.
Are you going to miss me?
Yes.
I'm going to miss you,
Okay,
Jimmy.
thank you. All right, so we will remind everyone now to subscribe if you like our show because we need subscriptions and we want to keep doing this. We're having a lot of fun. And then let us know what you think of this.
You know
It's
what
such
I
a fun
would like
time.
to say also?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On their comments, please tell us what you would like us to talk about.
Okay.
You know, because we have a wide range of people we could
Yeah.
bring into our hot seat.
Yeah.
And so please let us know what you want, what you would like to hear about, and how would you like us to debate those issues.
Yes, we love to hear it all.
We love to hear.
Thank you. And Bella, thank you.
Bella, thank
We
you very
really
much.
appreciate
It was
it.
a real honor and a pleasure to be here
Thank you.
today.
Great.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.